Hello, and welcome back to The London Perspective. I'm your host Stefan, and today we'll be discussing the latest news from across the pond in a special episode about the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, postponing his visit to China after another Chinese spy balloon was spotted flying over Latin America. Let's dive in. So, according to the latest reports, a second Chinese spy balloon was seen flying over Latin America, which resulted in Blinken postponing his visit to China. This is a developing story with a lot of political and diplomatic implications. Blinken made a statement that the presence of the spy balloon was a clear violation of US sovereignty and international law. However, despite this, Blinken still plans to visit China when conditions allow. This would have been the first visit of a US Secretary of State to China since October 2018, indicating a possible shift in US-China relations after a period of tension under former President Donald Trump. China has apologized for the presence of the balloon in US airspace and claimed it was a weather balloon that had gone off course, but US officials have expressed their skepticism about this explanation. The White House has stated that the balloon does not pose a military or physical threat. So, what does this mean for US-China relations moving forward? The postponement of Blinken's visit is a setback, but it doesn't mean that all hope is lost. Diplomacy is a slow and often complicated process, and it's always better to have open lines of communication, even if there are disagreements. It's also important to remember that this incident has set back efforts to resolve several points of friction between the US and China, particularly over the future of Taiwan and each side's military posture in the Indo-Pacific. Blinken had previously stated that he would use his trip to China to establish guardrails to prevent the relationship from escalating into conflict. That's all for today's episode of The London Perspective. I hope you found it informative and thought-provoking. If you did, be sure to share it with your friends and don't forget to tune in tomorrow for our next episode. Until then, stay informed and stay curious.